Thank you. All right, welcome back. Now, she has been scooping awards from different corners, touring internationally, opening act at globally prestigious events. And on top of that, she has now released her very own book. This month, she is celebrating 10 years of releasing her album. Lira has now published a book entitled Her Story, Lira. She now joins us in studio to talk about this. Thanks for staying on, Lira, and it's so lovely having you. It really, really is. So we chat about why you decided to write this book and telling it from your perspective. Is that really the aim of it all? It's just that to tell your story by you.
Very much. There's a lot of things that I've always wanted to share with my fans and people that just love and appreciate what I do. And I find sometimes when you do an interview, you know, the interviewee interprets your story and certain things get lost. And so I've guarded certain things because I just didn't want them to be lost in translation, as it were. So in this book, I think also celebrating my 10th year anniversary, I was able to reflect on my journey thus far, on everything that's gone on, and just really recognizing that there were very specific things and decisions that I took that almost ensured that my life or my success would end up the way it is. So I recognize that now, and I wanted to put it in a book. So this is everybody that I think is burdened by a passion and does not know how to make it into a reality will very much resonate with what I've written. And I wanted to write it in my own words, in my own style of communication. You know, I even say in the book, it's like, you know, I imagine my reader to be a friend sitting across me, and I'm just telling them about the last decade. The life story. Very fundamental things that I feel really changed my life and can work for anyone that wants to pursue a passion.
Yeah. Let's start at the beginning. What was Lira's childhood like?
I had a very good upbringing. I was raised by my grandmother, so she's my biggest influence. I think even physiologically, I look like her. Character, I have so much of her. So she was the biggest influence, and I stayed with her until I was about 11. And then I moved in with my mom and my stepdad when I was 11. And I only started attending mixed race schools in '92, and I was about 12. And so some of those things, I can see how it influenced some of my perceptions. So I learned the English language quite late. I had to go to bridging classes, and I remember my first year at a mixed race school, when the teachers would be speaking, I'd need them to speak slowly so I could catch on. You know, because the language still escaped me. And so these are some of the struggles and just some of the mental things that you go through when you're in a space where you're just like, oh my word, I don't understand a word.
It's like you're lost in translation.
Literally.
It's just happening without you.
Literally.
And then you got it. And then did you start singing at school? Did you do the church thing the way everybody else did it? Why did you start singing?
I was extremely shy. So I was very shy. My family didn't even know I sang until I pursued it as a career.
You're kidding me.
I did not let anyone in on the secret.
Wow.
I mean, I come from a family that enjoys music. So, you know, we enjoy it and everybody kind of just sings. But I never did church. The first time that I attempted to sing consciously was when I was in matric. I was 16 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote my first song, and we entered a competition, but I was very hush-hush about it. Parents didn't know anything. But when we won that competition, it validated me on so many levels. I felt like I have something to offer. And so I began to pursue it a bit more actively.
That's amazing. So you had this beautiful voice. Nobody knew you had this voice. You didn't sort of sit and sing at family lunches and be the pride where it's like, come Lira, sing us a song, let's do the... So you really bloomed late. I mean, you just started showing
I'm a
this talent.
serious late bloomer.
Well, listen, you're saving the best for last. Clearly, there's more to come from you. So you continue to discuss your childhood. You continue to discuss. So from a trick, you started singing then. Then after school?
And then, let's see, when I was studying in the Vaal University of Technology, I met a guy called Nighty Nice. He's now a renowned DJ. And he was running a studio part-time. And he was looking for, you know, talent in the institution. So we met up and he gave me an opportunity to do my first demo. And I remember in exchange for, you know, allowing me to do my demo, I did their books, the books for the companies. So that was a nice little deal there. And out of that, I was able to have material that I could now perform at various institutions. I did Miss Wits, I did, I practically performed around
anything
all the...
you could to just get experience and get out there.
Pretty much. And, you know, I was gathering a following. And I mean, it's so incredible to create music and performing to strangers and have them respond emotionally. For me, that's just the magic of what we do. It's as if you capture people's emotions in song and melody. It's pure magic, and I fell in love with that aspect of what I do. It's like, I want to keep writing songs, I want to keep performing, I want to keep connecting to people in this way. But unfortunately, in 1999, my studies, I had to finish and get into my internship. So this whole music thing ended very abruptly for me. I wasn't ready to let go yet. But reality
set in. Because it does. It's difficult. You've got to pay the bills.
This is the thing, you know. And so I worked in an accounting environment for 2 years. I did well, I was happy, but I think it caught up with me. I just felt suddenly very unfulfilled. And that's when I started asking the really big questions. Is this all that there is to life? You know, I feel like some of the questions I asked there were so fundamental because they introduced me to an idea of saying, so if you don't like this version of life, what do you describe as fulfilling? What is fulfilling to you? And I had to define it for myself, what I think is fulfilling. And my definition of fulfilling was doing what I love, writing music, performing it to people and being able to make a living out of it. And this excited me, the idea that this, because I could see it in my mind's eye, was exciting enough, and I quit my job based on that.
Brilliant. And here you are.
And here I am.
And it's not easy to get here. No. I mean, because you go through struggles. I mean, you talk about trying to get that first break, that first record deal, that first movement, and it didn't come that easily to Lira. As great as you are, it still didn't come that easily.
No. And the strangest thing about my journey is that getting a record deal was the easiest thing. I served my 2-week notice. 2 weeks later, I had a deal.
Wow.
I mean, it was insanely easy. However, making a success out of it, that's
the tough part.
That was intense. And I feel like that time, it stressed me out so much. It brought me to such a low that I feel like it cracked, the difficulty also cracked the shell that contained my potential. It backed me up against such a corner that I had two choices. Either I succumb or I fight. And in the fighting process, I got introduced to another level of myself that I never even knew was there. There was courage in there, there was strength, there was guts, there was drive, there was such a spirit that I discovered through this difficulty that I'm so grateful for it now. I would have never known who I truly am hadn't I gone through that.
That's absolutely amazing, and that's what I love about you. It's the determination to succeed. You also talk about a part of your life that people were never allowed into. Firstly, we saw some beautiful photos in the book. We see it of your wedding and you and Robin and this amazing partnership that you have. But you also talk about your dad. It's something that you haven't even spoken about and addressed. And seeing him only 3 years ago for the first time in many, many years. Tell us about that experience. What was that like? He lives in America.
He lives in the States. I saw him throughout my life in spaced out experiences. The reason I bring that in is to bring a reality of saying a lot of us go through that. A lot of us have daddy issues. And I realized that by holding on to the anger and the hurt, I was almost robbing myself of potential joy and happiness. And so as soon as I realized that, I mean, it was a process to even get there, because you feel justified, you know, you're the child, so you feel like you're justified to being so angry. But I realized it was blocking me from some level of joy. And also to find, to illustrate how I was able to heal that as well. And Yeah, I mean, my dad and I have always gotten on. I think he also didn't understand how much he hurt me. Like I say in the book, I didn't express it because I was like, I already don't see him much, so I don't want to upset the small incidences that I had with him. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, this is, if you're a Lira fan, which I know so many South Africans are, on every single level. I've seen you perform on major stages. I've seen you perform at small corporates, and you have it. It's it, that thing, you have it, and we're blessed to have you. So Lira, 10 years in the industry. If you're a Lira fan, read more about Lira. In her words, so many people writing in the front here about you and professing their love to you as well. And you deserve every accolade that comes your way. Here's the new CD as well. Besides the concert, there's a double CD out. Lira, Rise Again, the reworked hits collection. That's out. You can get that, the book, and the concert. The concert, the dates again?
It's on the 29th and 30th of November at Carnival City. Tickets are really available at Compu Tickets.
Fantastic. Lira, thank you for joining us.
It's such a great
luck
pleasure.
with everything going forward. And that baby. Next time I see you, I want to see a little bun in the oven there. All right, everyone, let's take a break.